Hey Tekken players, hope you're all doing well. So as promised, this is a follow-up video to the video I made, which was all of King's best key moves that you need to learn as a beginner. And now we're going to move on to all of his best throws. So just to set this out, we're not going to talk about how to set up these throws. That's what that previous video is about. So we're just going to do the throws themselves. I'm going to show you, in my opinion, his best ones, again as a beginner. I'm going to show you including some kind of secret hidden legacy inputs that you can use to cheat the system if you're a bit of a scrub and don't want to learn all the absolute every single button input. I'll also show you different setups for after the throws have landed, so potential Oki situations and just general setups and gameplay of how to use these throws. So finally, just so I've given you a hook to stay to the end, I'm going to show you some throws that as a beginner you'll think are brilliant, but trust me, don't use them. Just don't, because it's not going to carry you very far, and hopefully that is enough of a hook for you to want to stay to the rest of the video and appease the YouTube algorithm gods. Now before we start up, I would suggest that as part of this process, you don't have to, but you'll find it easier, I suggest you bind one of your buttons to the key charge button. Now I just, for full transparency, use L3. And I will explain later why this is important, and no, it's not so you can be a toxic moron at the end of the round by key charging your opponent. There is a good reason for it when you're playing King to do his throws. Okay, apologies, that's me banging the mic. I have not bought a mic stand. Maybe I will do next month, who knows. So yeah, apologies, not very professional. Right, now before we start, I just need to show you, in case, assuming that most people who watch my channel are pretty new to Tekken, may have come from Street Fighter, may have come from MK. So I'm going to quickly show you the throw system and more importantly how you break throws, which as a King player you do need to know because it's part of the mind games. If you're playing an opponent who knows how to break throws, then, well, first of all, good luck, but second, we need to work around it. So in Tekken there are 3 potential throw breaks. Okay, so there's a 1 break, which is where the opponent presses the 1 button. There's a 2 break, which is the opponent presses the 2 button. I think you can see where this is going. And a 1+2 break where the opponent has to press 1+2 to break the throw. So I'm going to show you what these look like. So this throw that the King is going to do, this is King by the way that I'm controlling. This would normally be a 1 break. Okay. Oops. There we go. Okay, now the way to tell is you see, play along my friend. Sorry, I keep getting jabs. There we go. I'm trying not to actually throw him, which is harder than you think, to sort of back away and do it. So this throw break, you see, it's actually his left arm that is reaching forward. See? So because his left arm reaches forward, that means that the opponent has to break it with a 1 break. Okay? This throw is a 2 break. Notice now it's his right arm that's coming forward. See? So that's his right arm, so the opponent has to break that with a 2. And finally, this is a 1+2 break. See how both arms come out together? Okay, so it's both. So that tells the opponent, right, I need to press 1+2 to break this. So that's how the throw break system works in Tekken. I'm not going to talk about counter hit throws or anything complicated. That's it in a nutshell. Okay, so just to go over finally, 1 break, 2 break, 1+2 break. Okay, and this is going to be important when we talk about his throws for the reasons that you'll discover quite soon. Okay, so that is the throw system, or the throw break system demonstrated. So let's start off with key throw number 1, the best throw, not just King's best throw, the best throw in the game, and you already know what it is: giant swing. I should mention I will try to put the inputs up on the screen. I won't be able to remember all of these for every single throw because some of them are quite complicated, but I'll try to put them up on the screen so you can see. And I have got my command history on. So this is, you've probably heard so much about giant swing, I hardly need to even talk about it. The reason why it's his best throw, it's 10 frames fast, so it's one of the fastest moves in the game. So it's really, so it'll beat a lot of moves because it's so quick. It does good damage on, it does good damage. It's actually 65 damage on that version. It's a bit tricky because if you notice the damage says 20. It's because this throw kind of has 2 parts to it, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. So if it's a normal landing, it's 65. Now, why do I say if it's a normal landing? Because they can do this. Now, if I should have King to already do this for me. Oops. So if King throws me now. Okay, now if you mash 1 on the landing, you take the landing. So mash, see, and now that's only 45 damage. So it's 45 damage if you take the landing, and you do that. You're meant to do it by pressing 1 on landing, but like you see, if you just mash 1, it'll work 9 times out of 10. So I'll just show that again. So ready to start mashing, and we take it. So as a minimum, it's 45 damage, 65 if they don't tech. And there's another context, and this is where again Giant Swing becomes very, very strong. So we're going to take King to the wall. And now we're just going to, if you wouldn't mind, thank you. If you wouldn't mind standing that way, and now if you wouldn't mind coming over here, please. Sorry, it's a bit awkward. There isn't a setup to get you to get King to stand by the wall with his back to it. Standard approach. Okay, come over here, please. Okay, so now we're in this position. Normally, this is bad. We have our back to the wall. Oh no, we can't backdash and we're in pressure. No, not a problem for your King, because you do this. Watch the damage. 70. So he gets extra damage if it hits the wall. For some reason in this game, it hits the wall from 8 miles away, so you don't have to be right by it. You could be quite far away. And you can't take that landing. So when King's got his back to the wall, it's actually in it's a very, very odd position where it's actually in your favour. Okay. Come on, let's swap this again. Okay, right. If you wouldn't mind going over there, please. Thank you. Now, just to kind of like, you know, just while we're on the subject, so just to, you know, so when you have your back to the wall, a lot of people will be looking out for the Giant Swing, and a Giant Swing is a 1 break. Okay, so probably mention that now. The reason why that's important is because the hands, as I said at the start, the hands look like a 1+2 because both hands go out, but it's actually a 1 break. Okay, so if you go from if you have your back to the wall like now, the Giant Swing might come. That's 70 damage and it's a 1 break. Or you could be really cheeky and do this. And that will give you 55 damage. Not as good damage wise, but did you notice we've now swapped sides? That's another added bonus. So this though is up forward 1+2. You hold back and that switch sides. So that's really cool to know. Now just to mention, there is potentially some kind of oaky situations for Giant Swing, despite the fact that they're really far away, and I'll just explain what that is. So if you land the Giant Swing, you'll notice that there's now a big old gap and they're on the floor. So that does give you time to basically do a running mix-up. Now if I just get Mr. King here to stay still for when he lands, I'll show you what these look like. So we do the Giant Swing. This is if they don't take the landing. We're on the floor. We can now run up. You can do a run up 3 like that. That's pretty good. You can also do the running exploder, which is running 3+4, which is that. This is really, really good. If you do it while running, if they block, you have so many plus frames. It's a force 50-50. I'll just quickly show you what that looks like. Nope, not that. Just want you to block all, please. Yep, that'll do. So we'll pretend that we've just done a Giant Swing. We're all the way over here. So watch these frames. Plus 17. Okay, so that means that basically the other player can't block either of these. They have to guess. Oh, they can block. They can't interrupt. So you can either do a get up 3, which is low, like that, or you can do a get up 4. This, and it's a guess. They don't have enough frames to step or do anything else. They have to guess. So it's a free mix-up, and you can even, if you want to be really cheeky, because bear in mind you just done a Giant Swing, you do this, into another one, and that's always hilarious to do. So not many Oki situations, but those are your two. The running exploder will kind of work on lower ranked players. Higher ranks, they'll realise that they can walk that quite easily, so they'll get up and they'll step, and then you'll fly past like an idiot. Okay, so that's Giant Swing. No, it's not. I'm going to show you the secret input for Giant Swing. So the traditional input you probably already know. It's forward, back, half circle. Sorry, forward, half circle, forward, 1. Okay, and I've done a separate video on the Blue Spark version, should you be interested in that. Now there's a sneaky way of doing this where you'll never get the blue sparks, but some people might find this easier. And all you have to do is you still do forward, then you do back, and then rather than the whole half circle, you actually only have to do the first part of it. So you do forward, back, down, release, 1. Okay. Now I'll try and show this because it's never really a method I've used, but I think it kind of goes like this. There you go. You notice there I've kind of skipped some of it. Oops. I'm trying to anyway. It's actually quite hard for me to do. There you go. That's the one. So you see there. Look on the command history. You notice there that there's no forward. Sorry, there's no down forward in that command history. It's the half circle, neutral, forward, then 1. Now again, I've never used this, but some people might find it easier. There it is again. It's also slightly different because he kind of takes a little step when he does it. So that's a legacy sort of hack, if you want. That some people find that easier. I don't, and you'll never get the blue sparks doing that, because to get blue sparks you have to get the full input. But it's there. That's a way of doing it. Okie dokie. Right. Let's move this along. So we've done Giant Swing, which is probably his best throw. So let's look at some of his other ones. So the next one I'm going to talk about is Muscle Buster. This is quarter circle back 1+2. Looks like this. Now note the hands again, just so I show you this. Look at these hands. So that's 1+2. Giant Swing. See, hands look the same, but as I said, Giant Swing is a 1 break. Muscle Buster is 1+2, but they look the same. So this is really good if you've got someone who is really sharp. This is one of, he's got several, but this is one of the ways you really mix them up, because they can't tell the difference. They can't tell the difference based on the animation. Oh yeah, I've got him blocking. It's a really good one to go for after a heat engager. So, as you can see, damage on this I believe is 50, sorry. But there's more to this throw than just fairly good damage. So it's 50 damage. This also gives you, notice the wake up position there. Did you see that King, we are now got our back turned and the opponent's on the floor. Now, in case you know, King has some specific moves he can only access during his back turn stance. So for example, this is one. That's unblockable. Show you what else he's got. Oops. This also breaks the floor. I was going to get to that, but he demonstrated it for me. But we'll address that in a minute. Right, okay, so back turn stance. This is unblockable. It is a high, so you can duck it, but it's unblockable. So if they don't duck and they stand up, that'll eat them. And he's got some others. So this is really good. Unlike Giant Swing, where it's you're kind of scuffling in terms of Oki. This one has some genuinely really good Oki situations. If you're super fast, that little back kick, that's 3, that will catch all options. But you have to be really quick for that to work. It's also a counter hit launcher, and that will catch anyone who is basically that'll catch anyone who tries to mash a get up kick. So let's see if I can demonstrate this. Hopefully, yep. Wake up with a mid kick will do. So we mashed 3. I tried to mash 3 and it didn't come out for some reason. Try again, my friend. See? Counter hit launches. So this is really good for people who are just mashing on their get up. So let's see how I can show you how this works. Damn it, King. Little basic combo there for you. But you see how it works. Oh, and a floor break, that's nice. So even a basic combo, 76. So that's really good to know. So that is a little, so that's a, if they do any kind of gallop kick, that will catch them for a counter hit. And you've got a few others, again I'll just quickly demonstrate them. So you've got a nice juicy low, oops, which I didn't do because I'm an idiot. Maybe it's down, for, oh, okay, well that won't work. Anyway, you investigate them yourself, but he's got lots of sort of good Oki situations there. You can catch people with the unblockable. That is amazing how many times that works. There's a bit of conditioning involved because you have to teach them to not mash the get up kick by by getting a counter hit launch. So you teach them to sort of behave and stay still, and you can do, disgusting stuff like that. Or if they think to themselves, I'm going to stay on the ground because I don't want to stand up and eat that mix up, you can do this. So that's got some really nice Oki situations. And as I accidentally demonstrated, this does break the floor. It's not a very good floor break one because he's facing the wrong way. And I'm sure there is a combo you can do, but I've not figured it out yet, to be honest. So let me just weaken this floor a bit. Okay, now let's break it properly. He's facing the wrong way. There probably is a combo there, but I've yet to figure it out. So now it does, however, this move and most of King's throws, to be honest, they do floor blast. So on the lava stage where you've got the floor blast properties, this is a launcher and it does massive damage. So that's pretty sweet to know. I won't demonstrate that, maybe at the end, depending on how much time we've got. Okie dokie, so we've done Muscle Buster. Now I gave you a little sneaky preview there. Let's do Tombstone. Now Tombstone is, as you watch the hands, it's a 2 break because his right arm goes forwards. Okay, and it looks like this. 53 damage. So I believe that is, I'm 99% sure that is King's highest damage single throw that's guaranteed, because Giant Swing does more, but they can tech the landing. That they can't tech, so that's 53 guaranteed damage. Now the best thing about this throw is actually, well, the damage is sweet, but also the Oki situation, because you notice King, he's now back turn, head towards you, which means when they get up, they're getting up with their back turn, which means you can actually hit them with a lot of stuff. Now in Tekken 7, you used to be able to do this, guaranteed, and oh yeah, damn floor breaks. You used to be able to do this, guaranteed. I think they've changed it now, so you can't. So that used to be, they couldn't block that. I think they've deliberately changed the Oki because I think it was too strong. So you can't do that anymore unless you can, and you just have to do it really well. But there are other options. That's quite good. You can try to sort of, you can get him with this. I've got to get King to stop blocking everything. But anyway, so you can hit him with that. You can hit with that blow. A lot of people will, after the Tombstone, they'll stay on the ground and roll to the side. Again, if I can get King to demonstrate that, and that's where ground throws are pretty good. Right, let's try again. Yep, so that's, if they try to stay on the ground like that, you can actually do, you have to do a little dash first, then you can get with a ground throw. See? So that's quite a good one for if you think they're going to stay down. If they're going to stand up, then, just got several options. Try to get him with a low like that. Check him with a mid. This is quite good. Or you can even just try to, we'll get to this later, but can do a little crouch dash throw. I see, he stayed on the ground that time. But yeah, so there's different Oki situations there that you can try out. But that's a really good throw. This does have a kind of a hack input. So the normal input is down, back, forward, 2+3, like that. Now I tend to do this method because I'm just used to it, to be honest, and because I play a lot of Paul, here's a little quarter circle motions. But rather than doing down, back, forward, you can actually do quarter circle back, forward, like that. And it'll work. Personal preference, I find that easier than doing this, especially when I'm throw buffering, but play around, see what works for you. In a throw buffer situation, I just find that easier. But there is a separate technique to that, so that's all good. Right, what are we on to next? Okay, so those are some of his best regular throws in the sense of they're highs, so they can be ducked, but you know, being throws, they're unblockable in effect. They have to guess them, and we've covered, you know, we've covered the 1 break, we've covered the 1+2, and we've covered the 2. Okay, so that's kind of like your 3 kind of mix-ups there. So let's talk about what happens if they duck and crouch throws in general. Now we'll need to get I have to get King here to stop block spamming. So King has some crouch throws. So this is, well, 2 things. One, if you know they're going to duck, so they're committing, you can use these. But generally speaking, the way you set these up is you do 1 or 2 moves. You either do this move, which is forward, forward 2. And that forces them into crouch, so they can't block the throw. Or similar thing, you can do Jaguar step 2. Similar thing. So when you land these moves, they can't block the ground throw. Okay. But if you know they're going to duck, you can just do them raw like that. Okay, so he's got 3. Now, if you're in open field, so just on a regular stage, then the throw you want to go for is the pedigree, which is down 1+4. This. The reason being, because it gives the best damage, and more importantly than that, it sets you, we're now in heat. And I've not really labbed this properly, but I'm pretty sure from this, it's deliberately set up that things like the Jaguar sprint are kind of unescapable. So it sets up for that. We won't go into that now, but the Jaguar sprint has lots of different options that can cover people who stay on the ground, people who duck, and people who are standing. So this is really, really good, and it's a heat engager. It doesn't have any other properties though, which is why I'm going to get into in a minute. So it doesn't break the floor, it doesn't floor blast. For those, you want to use his other throws, which is these. That is down 1+3, and he has down 2+4. What's this? So that's 56, pretty sweet. That's full sufficient. Okay, same damage, that's good. So these ones, they're great. If the pedigree is the one to go for, like I say, on a normal stage. However, if we are on a stage with a floor break, then this becomes very, very situational, and it is worth mentioning. So let's do the restart position to floor break. Okay, so now we know that the next break's going to break the floor. So which one do we want to go for? Well, again, as I sort of alluded to, if you do the pedigree, we get nothing apart from heat, which is nice. If we do this one, we've broken the floor and we can do a combo. However, he's back turned, so the combo is not optimal. It can be done, but it's not optimal. So this is why when you've got a floor break and it's very specific, you want to go for this. Because notice now, see, he's facing the correct way to set a combo up. So you could do something a bit like this. I'm just going to make this up. That's the wrong one. So something like this will work. There you go, pretty basic. 89 damage for a basic combo that wasn't even particularly flashy. I could have put an extra couple of hits. So that is really, really good to know if you're on a floor break. On a floor blast, both the ground throws, not including the pedigree, will trigger off the blast. So you can use either. It doesn't really matter because they can't break them. In previous Tekken games, the 2 different throws had different throw breaks. In this, you can't break crouch throws, so it makes no difference. So you always on a floor break want to go for this. Just take the damage. Combo is much better, much more conventional. Unless you mess it up like that. Floor blast doesn't matter, go for either. Now, that's really good, but I need to show you something which is OP, so I'm going to just pause the video and be back in a second. Okay, so you now notice that King has swapped for Dragunov, and you're probably thinking to yourself, why have you done that? Let me show you why. And this is, again, I suspect they'll change this in a future patch, because this is this is ridiculous. And for king, it's too damn good. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to get Dragunov to record a movement. Tell me if you've seen this before. Okay, this is Dragunov's key low, which is down 2. Show it for me, please. Good damage, and it tracks. And it forces crouch, and it's only minus 13 on block. So that's all you're going to get really for your king. Knows that's punish. Okay, so that's all very good. Great low. Dragunovs will spam this all day long. So again, tracks. You see, can't step it. However, watch this. Damn. Anyway, you got to stop trying to do the flashy combo. But did you notice? Watch the thing. Punish. That is a legit punish. They can't break that. So suddenly, if you're on a floor break, you go from getting this kind of damage as your punish to this. There we are. So that is pretty damn good. 70 damage off a low that's only minus 13. Now, just to be clear, get Dragon to stop doing that. This is only true for lows where because there's a crouch throw, they have to also be in crouch, and not all lows do that. So, for example, I tried it on King originally with 4/4 neutral. That doesn't work. He stands up too quickly. Even if you block it, he's kind of upright. Whereas Dragunov down 2, you're both in crouch, so that crouch throw is unbreakable. It's also true for Jin's down 2, which is another low that they spam a huge amount. So just bear that in mind, boys and girls. That is, I think they'll patch that because I think that's too strong. And say on a floor lava stage, it's a similar thing. In fact, I'll just quickly show you. Just please hold caller. Okay, welcome back, caller. We're now in space. Now, as I mentioned, watch this. Even the most basic of basic combos gives us 76. No walls, just 3 hits to the combo. As I said, I suspect this will get patched. It's too damn good. 83 from a minus 13 low. That's just too good. But it needs to be shared at this moment in time while it's still in the game. So those are his crouch throws, when to use them, and where and what's good. So let's go back to the quieter stage and get rid of all this lava nonsense. Okay, and we're back. So those are his crouch throws, when to use them, etc, etc. So I'm going to mention now, because this is something that King is very, very famous for, his chain grabs. I'm going to talk about which ones are worth doing and and which ones not so much. So in case you're unaware, the chain grabs is when he goes from one throw into another throw. So I'll just do a few to give you an idea. Okay, and each throw they have a different chance to break it. So they're not all guaranteed. You've got options to break it if you're the other player, but you have to know the right throw break and when. So these are really, really good, but as we need to discuss how to kind of do these. Now, the first step is from Jaguar step. So this is when you press 1+2. This is a little spin. So from here, you can either do if you press 1+4, which is this. That starts one chain, or you can do the same thing, but you can press 2+3, which is this. Again, note the arm's completely the same. So this is a complete guess on the other player. That one of them is a 1 break, the other one is a 2 break if they want to break that initial first section. Okay, now there is literally, I've forgotten how many different chain grab opportunities are after this. But I'm going to just make it really, really, really easy. And you sort of may have noticed if you watched my command history before. This is the easiest, most scrubby way. So basically, you do the first grab. Okay, it doesn't matter which one you do. You can either do 1+4 or 2+3. Then you very quickly press, and I'm going to try and map this in my head. You have to press 1, 3, 2, 4. Okay, which is this. And now I'll do the second part. Now that sounds complicated, but if you're a really, really scrubby king, like me, that's the only bit you need to know. Because after that, you can just mash the key charge and every one will work. Okay, so I'll just show you what I mean. Okay, so that's the first bit. Now watch my history. That's all I'm doing, mashing key charge. Watch. Mash, 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 mash. Train monkey could do this. Boom. 116, and as I say, all I had to do was mash one button. So that's pretty good. Now, you may think it's too good to be true. It is sort of. The problem with doing that is if you only use that method, basically it means that there's always one. Well, there's only one. There's no mix-up in how the opponent breaks the throw. I'm not going to tell you which button it is. You can figure that out yourself because I'm not helping you out if you're not a king main. But trust me, if you only use the mash key charge, it means that they can just hit one button over and over, and eventually you'll break the throw. I'm not telling you which one it is though. So that's the downside. If you learn all the if you learn them all properly, then now does this work? Wow. So yeah. When I was a younger man, I knew them all. I'm too old and decrepit to remember them all now. But yeah, so there are ways you can do it. So that's one. So the real mix up here is just to make sure you either do that 2 plus 3, or you do 1 plus 4. That's kind of like the real mix up in this. Most people will mash 1, so I would suggest go for 2 plus 3. That one seems to land you more hits generally. Obviously they can duck that. And this is why you have Jaguar step 2. That's a mid, can't duck it, and that guarantees a ground throw. So that's kind of like your mix-up options. If they're seeing your Jaguar step and they're going and they're ducking, because it is quite slow to come out. You know, it's quite telegraphed. It's quite good after say you've knocked them down. That's the wrong one. Say you've knocked them down, you can sort of just go, hop. Oh, we didn't do it. Apologies. So you knock them down, you go yoink into that. So it kind of happens before they realise. So that's one set of chain grabs. Now the other ones come from a crouch dash. I'm probably going to make a separate video on this in terms of what options King has with his crouch dash. But in case you're unaware, to do this, it's forward, neutral, and then the easy way to do it is to do quarter circle forward. And then whichever button you want. That's kind of like the easy way. So it kind of looks like this. That's kind of a slow one. Now unlike Mishma's, King can't easily do multiple crouch dashes one after another, which is what we call a wavu. It is possible, but you have to have godlike execution. But that's kind of what a single one looks like, and then another one. So that's the input, and then you, again, a bit like the Jaguar step, you either press 1 plus 4 to get this, or you press 2 plus 3 to get this. So these are his different crouch dash throws. The first one is a 1 break, the second one is a 2 break. So let's discuss each one first. This is the one that everyone wants. Everyone wants to land this. This is the rolling death cradle. This is one of his highest damage throws, and more importantly, it scores emotional damage onto your opponent, because it's ridiculous how long it goes on for. You can go out and make a sandwich while that throw is going on, while you watch your life bar deprive. Now I made a separate. There is an easy. They've made the input for this easier in the command history, but it doesn't do as much damage. So if you want to learn it, go and learn that one. If you want to learn the harder one that scores more damage, which is this, then I made a video for it for Tekken 7. I'll link it below. Go and watch that one. It shows you how to set up your shoulder buttons to get that to be pretty reliable. Okay, so I won't go too much into it, but they have an opportunity to break that. So again, it's worth mixing it up. So I would mix it up with this as an alternative. This bit's a save, then mash key charge, and you'll get this. That's a dragon sleeper. So nowhere near as much damage, but I guarantee no one will break it. And why is that? Because everyone will be trying to break the rolling death cradle, and everyone knows what the break is for the RDC. No one knows what the break is for this, because no one will try to, oops. Play it on, please. There, because no one will try to break it because they're too scared of the RDC. So it's kind of like a guaranteed one in a way. So that's just something to bear in mind. There are alternatives. This is really, really good. And again, no one will break it because again, they're expecting the RDC. So that's another good one. And if you really want to go all out for, okay, guaranteed damage, because no one will break this, just do the first bit and then mash key charge. And you'll get that. But it's the weird thing is, it's kind of like everyone, it's kind of like a bit of mind games. Everyone knows how to break the highest damage one because that's the one that everyone is expecting. So you can try that and, you know, gamble for the biggest damage, but the likelihood is it will get broken because people are expecting it. And that's when you use the smaller ones that no one knows the breaks for, no one's expecting to try to break, and they'll get you less damage, but it's more guaranteed. So that's kind of like a bit of a mind game setup. And it's the same for the other one, which is, this is his crouch dash 2+3. This is the highest damage option. No, it's not, because I balls up the input. Try again. There we go. Then you mash key charge. This is Kingsbridge. Okay, so that's pretty good. And again, everyone will try to break that. You only get one chance to break it, unlike the Rolling Death Cradle. They have to break this bit here. If they don't break that, and I'm not going to put the input, if they don't break that, then the final throw is guaranteed. So that's really good to know. That, to get that input, it's the normal crouch dash, and then it is 1+2, 1, 3, 1+2. Like this. No, it's not, because I did the wrong one. Come here, please. Like that. See? And then you can just mash key charge to get the final bit. So again, a lot of these throws, you look in the command history and think, well, it's really complicated, but there's hacks and cheats and scrubby ways of getting around it. So that's the big damage option. So mix that up with this. Oops. Excuse me. Excuse me. There you go. Mix it up with this. Just do key charge. This will give you the sharpshooter. Which again, less damage, but no one will break it, because they're expecting the bigger one. So again, kind of mind games there. You either go for, you try and risk it and go for the big damage, but expect them to break it, or just take learn how to crouch dash first, or learn how to press 2+3 together. Oh my days. Yeah, just go for the easy one and take the guaranteed damage. So those are his chain grabs, all covered. Okay, so well done if you made it this far. I'm going to now include some grabs you should not use. And you're thinking, what do you mean you shouldn't use? Well, trust me, you shouldn't. And I'm going to explain why. The first one you should not use is this. And you're thinking, why? This is awesome. This is like Tekken. This is Tekken 3 stuff. And look at all that. It's 79 damage. Why shouldn't I use that one? Well, two reasons why. Number one, because this throw is really telegraphed. Look how slow he is. It's not a quick crouch dash, it's a slow one, because it's kind of like an easy mode. So this, you can get pretty quickly. This one, you can't. So they've got plenty of time to duck. The other reason is because, again, once you get past a certain rank, everyone knows this. This is always a 2 break. There's no mix up here. It's always 2. Whereas this is 1. Oops. This is 2. So this is a genuine mix up. This is not. It's always the same button. So don't do that. Or, you know, do it if it works in the easy ranks. But just do it knowing that that's not going to take you that far. The other one, I'm going to actually get my twin king to do it for me. Okay, so these are the other throws you should not do. Now I've got my twin brother king to demonstrate. So I'm going to play them, and I'm going to then show you why you shouldn't do them. Okay. Now these are set to both be random, so 50-50s. Okay, I think I've shown you my point. So the reason why these are terrible is because so these is what they are. So it's the 1 2 1 then 2 plus 4, and the other one is 1 2 2 plus 4. Okay. Now the reason why these are terrible is you can probably notice the throw break is always the same. It's always 2, and it'll work every time. See, there's no mix up here, and worse still, people start doing this. Oops. People start doing that. See? Okay, I let him have that one. But you get my point. There's no stop it, King. You're annoying me now. Stop! Stop! Right, will you now please stop? Thank you. So there's no mix up here. It's always a 2 break, and it's quite telegraphed, so you can duck and launch. There is one exception to those throw setups that you're allowed to do. If your name is Chenzo, you're allowed to do them. That's the only person. No one else should be doing those. Chenzo, you can do them, my friend. Anyone else? No, you can't. Anyway, right, so I hope that's helped you all. So I've shown you all his key throws, when to use them, different setups, etc. Any hidden sort of tricks and tips. You'll notice I haven't discussed the blue sparks because I did a separate video on it, and I've not discussed the shining torpedo or the shining wizard. Number one, because to be honest, it's slightly more advanced to be able to do this point blank range. And the only other time you might do it is, let's say you do it from a knockdown. Okay, so let's say that we throw our king over here. We go, yeah, here we go. Let's run up and do this. That will work. However, that will carry you through the baby ranks, and after that, this is super telegraphed. Everyone knows that comes from a run, and they'll know to break it 1+2. Where it really works is point blank range, and that's hard. Even with the new system, that's hard to do. Oops. Which is why I've not discussed it. I'll save that for a more advanced guide. But that, obviously, that is another throw he does have. But it just, for these early stages, it's not really worth mentioning. Because, like I said, to do this point blank range is hard, especially if you try and get blue sparks like me. But yeah, but it is there. First time, no edit there. Definitely first time. So yeah, that's why I've not discussed it. But that is another throw he does have, and it is very good. But as I say, it's not really beginner friendly at this early stage. So that's why I've not included it. Okie dokie. So I hope this has helped you. Again, drop a comment. Anything else you'd like to see? Any questions, etc. Please subscribe for more King content, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.